Deanna had just returned from the grocery store with ingredients for the supper that was being cooked for them. Jacob had been dating her for 4 months and was head over heels for her. "Did you used to have a living girlfriend, Jacob?" Diana asked him. "What? No, why do you ask that?" Jacob replied. "Oh, I saw at least a dozen dresses and nighties hanging in your closet," she said while watching him closely. "Ah, what were you doing in my closet?" Jacob put down the grocery bags and faced her. "I was checking your clothes sizes. I was planning on buying you a few things for your birthday next week. I wasn't sure what size you were." "So why the women's clothing?" Diana asked curiously. "Oh, my sister left them here. She asked me to keep them until we see each other at Christmas," Jacob explained. "Come on, Jacob, I can tell when you're lying. I don't want to start doubting you." "That would be a game changer," Diana said, putting her hands on her hips and staring him down. Jacob took a seat at the kitchen table and ran his hands through his hair. "You might not want to hear the truth," he said. Diana took a seat at the table next to him and took his hand. "Jacob, do you wear women's clothing?" Jacob grimaced and began chewing a fingernail. It was hard to answer. "Yes," he finally choked out. He was red-faced and sweating. "Okay," she said. "Should we get started on dinner?" "What do you mean it's all right?" Jacob asked. "I'm not sure. Give me some time to think about it. For now, I'm looking forward to dinner." "You're not getting out of that," Diana replied. They worked amicably to get things on the table, and it almost felt as if the conversation had never taken place. "This is really good," Diana said as she scooped another clam out of its shell. "You're a good cook." "Thanks," Jacob said and refilled her wine glass. "Makeup," she said, pausing to look at him. I guess the topic was still open. Jacob swallowed hard. Yes, there was no point in lying to her. "Do you wear panties and a bra?" Diana asked. Jacob put his head in his hands. A small smile played across her face. "Do you have a girl's name when you dress up like that?" she continued. How did she know exactly the right questions to ask? Jacob thought. "I do. My feminine dress-up name is Catherine. It means happy." "Well, wow," she said and went back to eating. A moment later, she floated another question. "Do you go out in public dressed up like that?" Jacob played with his napkin. "I haven't." "Why not?" I sighed, too scared to. "I guess I've thought about doing that." "Do you want to have sex with men?" Diana asked. "No, absolutely not. I don't think like that. I do this because it excites me," Jacob explained. He tried to make her see that he was telling the truth. He wasn't interested in that kind of sex. "I guess that's reassuring. Sort of, for me anyway. Thanks for the dinner." "It was as good as you promised," Diana said, looking at her watch. "Geez, it's late. I better head home." "You don't want to stay?" Jacob asked. They had started having sex on date nights, and it was pretty wonderful stuff. He had been looking forward to it all week. "No, I don't think that's a good idea right now," Diana replied. She got up from the table and picked up her purse. "I'll call you," Jacob said. "If you want, goodbye." "Oh, Jacob," she gave him a peck on the cheek. He sat by himself playing with the pasta and clams on his plate. That could have gone worse, but that goodbye felt so final. Damn, I should have told her up front, but it seemed wrong too. It was pretty much a relationship killer if you put it out there on the first or second date. Probably there was no good answer. She didn't return my calls or texts on my birthday. I brought home a pizza and opened a beer. I turned on the TV and flipped through the streaming channels, looking for a movie to lose myself in. I'll admit, I was feeling pretty down. It took me a moment to realize somebody was pounding on the door loudly. I peeked through the peephole. It was Deanna. I opened the door with an exclamation of surprise. "Didn't expect you, but I'm glad you dropped by." She was holding bags full of wrapped presents. "Aren't you going to invite me in?" It was hard not to notice that she wasn't wearing a bra, and all of her lovely curves were barely concealed by the tight halter she was wearing. I stepped aside and gestured her in. She headed for the family room and dumped the bags. "Happy birthday," she said with a glittering smile. Aren't you going to offer me one of those beers you're drinking? I hurried to pour one for her. So, I said, handing her the drink. You didn't answer my calls. I was worried, she shrugged. Had a lot of thinking and reading to do. Even talked to a friend who discovered she was married to a crossdresser. It was all very confusing. I took a deep breath and decided to take a chance. Diana, yes, please. I took her into my arms and kissed her. She kissed back with as much passion as I remembered. She pushed one of the bags at me. You said getting dressed excites you. I brought you some things, Catherine. I want to see. I tore open the packages. There were slinky, sexy panties, bras that made my fingers tingle just holding them, a garter belt, and 3 pairs of stockings that I ached to try on. I was particularly attracted to a pair of satin pajamas. I could imagine curling up in bed wearing them. It was the stuff that dreams are made of. Diana watched me as I worked my way through the abundance of beautiful things she brought. This is all pretty classy stuff, I said. Expensive, sexy as hell. My things are pretty tame in comparison, I know. I figured, go big or go home. Do you like them? My God, Diana, I love them. You've made me one happy girl. Now to see if you've been telling the truth. I want you to go put on the red dress, pick your favorite panties and bra. I got you a B cup so you can put in the breast forms I bought you. Try the garters and stockings too. You have a wig and high heels and bedding. I nodded good. I want to see you dressed to the nines, impress me. Bathe and shave your legs and go over your face again. I want you smooth as a baby's bottom. I like soft skin, Diana said as she pulled out one last package from her purse. It's perfume, the good stuff. You're going to smell as good as you look. I grabbed my new things and headed into the bathroom to shave like she had asked. It took me 60 minutes before I could show her the results. I was embarrassed and knew I was blushing like a schoolboy seeing his first pair of breasts. Holy cow, Catherine, you're a real doll. This is amazing. I want to show you one more thing, Diana said. She took me by the hand and led me into the kitchen. There, sitting at the table, was a very attractive woman I didn't recognize. Who are you? I stammered. I wanted to bolt from my bedroom and hide under the bed. I was trembling. I was so surprised. What was Diana up to? I'm Emma. I'm a cosmetologist, and I'm going to do your makeup, Emma said. Diana guided me to the empty chair. Without her help, I don't think I would have made it. I sat silently while a professional did my makeup. I mostly made a hash of it when I did it here alone. I rarely did more than my lips and a little eyeliner. This was a complete makeover. While Emma worked on my face, Diana painted my nails. I was bursting with excitement. I was so damn happy. When Emma was finished, she let me look in the mirror. A face I didn't recognize looked back at me. I couldn't speak. I wanted to cry, but I knew that would spoil the gorgeous work that had been done. I kept saying thank you over and over like a broken record. Emma, have you told her yet? Diana asked. She took my hand. Catherine, sweetheart, we're going out on a date. It's your birthday, and I want to make it a night you'll always remember. I felt panic take root. No, I'm terrified of that, I said. That didn't stop me. I can't go out alone like this. I was hyperventilating, sucking in short gulps of air. Emma patted my arm. No reason to panic, Catherine. It's a double date. I'll be there, and so will Jessica. Diana chuckled. I told you I had a friend who married a crossdresser. Jessica is her husband. He's dying to meet you. You're going to have the time of your life. And when we come back to your place afterwards, I'm going to make it even more special. She held out her hand, and I stood up. I was afraid but felt safe with her. All right, girlfriends, I said. Let's party.